In part 2 for chapter 17, we will talk about the different types of persuasive proof, focusing on logos. So imagine that you are an attorney and you have to present your case to the jury or a judge. You decide what evidence you're going to use in court, but it's up to the jury or the judge to decide whether that evidence is valid and persuasive. So when you're trying to persuade an audience, your success depends on the quality and validity of your proof, the arguments that you make, the evidence you use to support and strengthen your persuasive claim. And because audiences and situations differ, so should your proof. So there are 4 types of persuasive proof: logos, pathos, ethos, and mythos. Logos refers to using logic. Pathos refers to using emotion to make your case. Ethos refers to speaker credibility. And mythos is about using a narrative or a story to make your case. So the way that I remember these: logos, logic; pathos, passion or emotion; ethos, ethics or speaker credibility; and mythos, myths, like Greek mythology telling a story. So that's how I remember those 4. Okay, logos, as I mentioned, refers to logical proof. So a persuasive argument that rely on reasoning and analysis use logos. Stephen Toulmin has a model that we refer to as the claim, support, and warrant, on how you make your argument. So the claim is the conclusion that the speaker wants the audience to agree with. And then support is the evidence, the data, the facts, the statistics that you offer up as grounds to accept the claim. And then the warrant refers to the reasoning process that connects the support to the claim. Okay, for example, if I say that smoking in public places should be banned, that is a statement, but it's not exactly a claim. You really have to say why. So smoking in public places should be banned because it puts other people, especially children and pregnant women, at risk of breathing smoke from cigarettes. So that's my claim, that it should be banned because it puts other people at risk of secondhand smoke. Now, smoking in public places also endangers people who have respiratory ailments. And studies show that almost 80% of those who ingest secondhand smoke from public smokers have a higher risk of getting respiratory problems than smokers themselves. Well, that's my support for my claim that it should be banned because it hurts women and children, pregnant women. So then my warrant connects the support to the claim. And that is, banning an act that causes problems to innocent civilians is helpful to society. So there was my claim, my support, and then my warrant. Now let's talk about types of claims. There are claims of fact, claims of value, and claims of policy. And sometimes I think the book refers to these as propositions of fact, value, and policy. Same thing. Okay, so a proposition of fact is a statement that something did happen or did not happen. It's true or it's not true, and it will or will not occur. So that's a fact, a statement of fact. For example, exposure to secondhand smoke causes health problems. That's a statement or a claim of fact, proposition of fact. Now, a proposition or a claim of value is a statement that something's good or it's bad. It is wrong to expose others to secondhand smoke. That is a claim of value. And then A proposition of policy is a statement that the audience should take an action or support a particular course of action. So in this example, it should be against the law to smoke indoors. That's a statement or a claim of policy. Okay, now let's take a look at a few. And I'm going to go through a few of these, but then if you want to look at them and then compare your responses to what I have, please take a look in the PowerPoint slides and look in the notes section. Okay, so many deer carry dangerous Lyme disease ticks. Is that a claim of fact, value, or policy? That's a fact. Missouri should extend the deer hunting season to control deer population. Well, that is a proposition of policy. I'm saying this is what Missouri should do. Deer hunting is immoral and dangerous. Is that a statement of fact, proposition of fact, value, or policy? Well, that is a claim of value because you're saying it's it's bad, it's immoral. Okay, here's some other ones, and I will let you go through those on your own time. But let me make a point here. So the last point here, antibiotics are an effective way to treat colds. That is a proposition of fact. It is not an accurate and truthful fact, but when we talk about proposition of fact or claim of fact, these claims, they have to be examined in order for the audience to recognize them as true or false, whether they're likely to happen or unlikely to happen. So it's not that when we say it's a proposition or a claim of fact, we're not making a declarative statement that it is true. That's for the audience to decide. So take a look at these, see what you think, and then look in the notes section of the slides in Blackboard to see if your answers match mine. Okay, finally, we get to a better description of the warrant. So inductive reasoning is where you take a specific observation and you make a very broad generalization. And how much the audience agrees with you depends on, each piece of evidence that you provide. So here's a specific to general that's problematic. John smoked cigarettes for 30 years, and John developed lung cancer. And everyone who smokes will develop lung cancer. So he took something specific, John smoking cigarettes for 30 years, and took it to a very general observation that everyone who smokes will develop lung cancer. So deductive reasoning, the opposite, starts with something that's very general, and it looks at possibilities to reach a very specific conclusion. So for example, all humans are mortal. I am a human, therefore I am mortal. The Earth is a planet, and all planets orbit a sun, therefore the Earth orbits a sun. So taking something very general and making it specific. And that is the end of part 2.